everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back with another One Filmmaker, One Film. And look who it is. Look, the man himself, for a fourth time, Uwe Boll. I mean, this is amazing. 4 times. 4.
Yeah, look, I did first shift, run, now Citizen Vigilante, so we had good reasons to talk for the last 2.5 years, basically.
Yeah, and I think it's great. Thank you so much for doing this again. And I know you're over in Germany. I'm here in Las Vegas. I think I figured it's a 9-hour difference.
Yeah, so we have 5 p.m. now almost.
And I'm at just about 8 a.m. So I made sure to get up at 6 a.m. I wanted to make sure this thing went smoothly. I got everything set and prepared. So hopefully nothing goes wrong.
Yeah, it will work. Thanks for getting up early. It's like for me now where Citizen Vigilante is kind of going everywhere. This kind of time starts where people in America want to talk to me, you know, so, but it's my evening time coming up. And today at 10 p.m. is Germany playing in the Soccer World Cup. So at 10, I want to be finished with all podcasts for today.
Well, as you know, you let me know when you want to leave. That's perfectly fine. And you know, yeah, we're here to talk about, you know, Citizen Vigilante. And have you found that, like myself, like you said, we've been now talking for a couple of years, have new people kind of come up because of this movie and saying, oh, now we want to talk to you? Is it also older people that continue talking to you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the old, like the few podcasts I regularly in talking about movies are still there. And then now you have all this political chatter about the film, you know, because it's political. It's banned in Germany. I didn't get a rating. So now in Germany, nobody can watch it. Now they all start trying to watch it illegal, right? So, and that's not good for me financially, of course. And I'm fighting the rating board right now. I went to them personally yesterday, and they will watch the movie again with a statement from me. And when they will watch it again, I'm allowed to be there and argue them. What is fair? That's good, you know, and because I will, in a way, have to teach them about vigilante movies, that this is a genre what is forever there, and it's not an instigation on doing real violence, you know, like that's the thing. But it's of course film historically from the westerns already, and then Death Wish and all this stuff to Taxi Driver and so on and so on. So and from what I know, it's not that tons of people run amok because they're watching a vigilante movie. You know, then way more people would be dead because John Wick, Equalizer, whatever, they were all watched by hundreds of millions of people.
Yeah, John Wick is really violent. So it is. So it's, do you think this is maybe aimed at you directly, or is it because of the film itself?
Both, right? So I think in Germany, I was always not really well accepted by the industry here because I do more genre films. That's in Germany already a no-go for most of the people. And I mean, the main case in Citizen Vigilante is this mass rape situation where he goes after the rapists and he goes after the judge. And unfortunately, that this kind of stuff happens daily in Europe, like daily. And the curve of these crimes or knife crimes also went up like this since 2016, since the first wave of Syrian refugees came in. And you can do a blind eye, you act like nothing matters, but it matters for the victims.
Right.
So that's the thing. If I would get stabbed in the neck and die, I mean, then I would be dead. But on the other hand, I was not very excited about it. So, and I feel the political landscape, that's the reason for the ban is they don't want these movies where you put it in front of them. You know, where they feel like, why he's doing this? This only gives, they're not like scared that somebody is doing the same like Citizen Vigilante. They're scared about the political backlash they're getting. You know, like, because now all the journals in Germany are full with political statements about the censorship. You know, and they say, look, that is where we are. A guy makes a movie, you don't like the content, no rating. You know, so, and that's ridiculous. You know, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like you said, this is a genre that's been around. I mean, how many black and white cowboy movies are there where the one guy whose family was killed on the ranch and then he goes out for revenge? So it's been around for forever, and it's a beloved genre, and it's one of my favorite ones. I mean, you know, Death Wish 2, The Exterminator, Vigilante. I mean, it's even there's the female ones, I Spit on Your Grave and stuff. So
Yes.
it's weird that it would be banned.
Yeah, and it's also like when I had a discussion, I said, look, the violent level is exactly like the John Wick level. So, and to not give it a rating at all means, look, they say the movie is not banned. You can show the movie, but if you don't prove that everybody's over 18 watching it, you do a crime, right? So, and that's the kind of wording. So that means like my distributor in Germany, it's not me personally distributing the film. My distributor in Germany, of course, cannot do anything with it because they cannot do a crime just loading the movie up, right? So that's the thing, because if you put it on Amazon, for example, then you cannot really control who's watching it. You know, everybody who can push the button buy could be 15, you know? So now you proved you didn't control that everybody was over 18 and you're toast. So the only way to control it would be a theatrical release and to really advise at the box office that they have to show the ID before they get the ticket. Right. Yeah, but the theaters are not doing this, right? If you ask them, we asked the theater change in Germany, like I said, look, just play it now. And they said, no, we are not set up to do this control, you know? So, and with other words, the movie is banned because how you want to show it, you know? So it's too much work to show it. And that's the problem now. And it's pissing me off that in my own home country, I have this kind of problems. But based on the political landscape, I'm not super surprised because the governments in England and Germany and France, they all know that that whole migration issue is unsolved.
Oh, the UK.
You know, and they don't want to stir the pot with a movie like this. So they think, if we can make sure nobody watches it, we win. But they're living in the age of Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, and there are like half of the movies playing everywhere, right? So, I mean, they're like posting clips everywhere, and they will not be able to, that movie is not entering Europe and other countries.
That it does not make any sense at all unless it's a personal thing. It really doesn't, because it's, well, let me show people. So this is what the poster is, so they can keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
It's a good looking poster. I like the colors on it. I like that his overcoat is, it's kind of like in the wind there. You got the gun. I like that with the silencer on it. And I found this one, which I thought was cool looking. Maybe this is fan made, but yeah, I thought,
fan. I don't even know that one. So that I got so many fan posters. Now it's so easy with AI to make posters, right? And from time to time I post them on Instagram, just like randomly. But that is new. I never saw this.
Yeah, I like that with the single bullet, and then it's got like the few drops of blood on it, and I thought that was pretty cool. What so
on the bullet is a New York or something is on the bullet. Look.
Oh yeah, there's a city on there. Yeah, that's New York. Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, I didn't notice that before. Yeah. But it's so when I put this on, and I am always, when you release a movie, I'm on it. I'm not going to bootleg this thing. Yeah. I want you to get the money. I know a lot of this stuff is financed by yourself, or it could be from from other individuals, but it's not like Warner Brothers or Paramount or something. And so I want to make sure that you get that money. So I always do that, and I did it with this one too. It did kind of bum me out because I did it with Amazon, as I wanted to rewatch it. So I'm like, okay, now that I've watched it, let me watch it again so I can make notes. And it's like, oh no, you watched it, you're done. And I'm like,
oh, normally you own it for 24 hours, right? Normally you own it for 24 hours.
It's like it's gone. It's just like you. So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, luckily I just watched it, so I can, because I will definitely, once this becomes a physical, copy, hopefully I'll buy it. But what I found interesting, because you brought up like world events and things that's going on in Europe, is, and I'm not going to give away stuff because this is brand new. I want people to experience, so I'll be very vague. At the very beginning, there is a murder that is very graphic. And 10 years ago, I probably would have gone, oh, come on. Come on. It's a movie. I get it. Okay. But with stuff like Belfast and these, and what happened to the UK with the man who got, stabbed with the sword. I'm like, this is stuff that's happening right now. So I'm like, okay, this is totally believable.
Yeah. So, and that is why I did it, right? I wanted to shock, to say, that's what happens. That is how it looks like. And I mean, a lot of people, they're not willing to open their eyes to it. On X and everywhere are a lot of videos where people getting stabbed or fighting, or a guy with an axe running around and whatever. And that is how it looks like. And that boy can only look how his mother bleeds out for nothing, and for me, the main question is then, should we really go in that risk in letting so many like foreigners in, from countries they are not so developed and so on? And I know a lot of migrants in Germany who are very mad that so many other migrants come in. They're working here forever. The Turkish population is big in Germany, historically big. And but they adjust, right? So they are just living here, they speak German, they work here and so on. There's no problem with it. Also, when people now, a lot of like right-wing people approach me and they say, look, we have to get violent. And I said, no, we don't. The movie warns that things should not get out of control, that you don't need a vigilante in the real world if you enforce the law, And for me, it's like, I don't care how many people live in a country from different countries. We are all mixed cultures, but I care when people coming in and losing it, turning into crime, abusing the system, and also try to bring this kind of Islamistic Sharia law stuff in, what we have in Iran and in other countries. There should be like our line, where we say, okay, then you have to leave now, or we don't even let you in, So, and I think that's important. And in Europe, there were too long governments ruling who basically sugarcoated all of this, till you cannot overlook it more. They say, oh, we're like a colorful society and we're all living together and dancing at the Pride Parade, and then you think, okay, but half of the people at the Pride Parade want to kill you because there are fundamental Islamistic Muslims who would kill all gays. I mean, that's a fact. And you cannot sugarcoat this. You cannot get our culture completely overwhelmed. I think if you have 10, 15% migration in the country, that you can absorb. But if you have like 50% here from like Arabs and so on, you lose completely control about the narrative. Everything will change. Who rules the country? What are you doing? Like what the school system looks like? All of this will change. Nothing will stay the same. So you just have to have a healthy relationship, right? So you cannot, like Saudi Arab would also not be happy if now 20 million Germans move in and say, look, you have only 5 million population. Now we rule you out and we take all your oil. I mean, that's the thing. It's just what I my plaidoyer for when I make a movie like this is, look, that is how it can get dark. That is what can happen if you just let it all slide and you just watch it, and then every day gets a guy almost the head chopped off. Or you remember in the subway in the US where this guy stabbed that blonde Ukrainian girl.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah, she was on her way home from work. She worked at a pizza parlor, and she even still had her work shirt on. And I think the problem is that it's like you said, it's Europe, it's America too, and liberals are the problem. And it's because that incident, they didn't look at her, they looked at him and said, oh, poor him, mental health problems, him. You know, everything was him, even though he had already been in jail 14 times. And it was all about him. Oh, you're being racist because he's black. Oh, you're being this and that. It's like, he just killed somebody.
It's unbelievable.
And it's these are the type of things that turn people to the right. You might be to the left, you could be kind of centralist or whatever it is, or you know, but it makes you go, what are you people doing? And then you kind of go to the side that does want to do something about it. And it's crazy when you have in like the UK, if you say something online that they don't like, you can go to jail at 3 a.m. and you're just some guy and you're like, I don't agree with this. And then they throw you in jail. And it's whose side are we on? Which is why I think this film is important. And it's do we need a bunch of Bernie Getz out there? No. But you got to do something or people are going to start taking, you know, the law into their own hands.
Yeah, that is what I said a lot of German political magazines, right? And because a few said, look, in a way, the movie is advertising that people go on vigilante justice spree, right? So, and I say that's A, your interpretation, but B, exactly what you said. If you totally keep overdoing it and you celebrate people and you let them out of jail within 5 months, whatever they do for rape, for knife stabbings, then, because look, knife stabbings, if you really look deep into it, any stab could be deadly. It's poor luck that you survive. If he doesn't hit an arteria, yeah, maybe no problem. I mean, it's a problem. You go to the hospital and everything, but you're maybe not bleeding out. But if a guy attacks you with a knife and stabs you randomly, he tries to kill you, right? If you survive it, you're lucky. So that means for me, all these people need to get the punishment of attempted murder and not the punishment of little knife stabbing, you know, and then like, okay, 10 months probation. And you feel like, no, that should be 15 years and not like 10 months probation. So, and that's the thing, what I don't get is like how they justify this low arrest rate and whatever. And then at the same time in Britain, where they, as you said, you say whatever, Starmer is a fucking idiot or whatever. I mean, now he's not even a premier minister anymore for good reasons, but they can put you in jail, you know, like for insulting somebody or, you know, I mean, that's for me where they lost the track. And, you know, like in the German constitution is of course also total freedom of art, freedom of speech, etc. And I told the rating system, so you put some other shit on top of the constitution and say, no, that's more important now, as freedom of art, you know, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and also in the German constitution is written, no censoring. Means you cannot force somebody, or that book only gets printed if page 3 is gone. You know, yes, if you, let's say you're the publisher and you tell your writer the book is shit or whatever, and you need to change it, that's a different thing. But what that means in the constitution means the government cannot infiltrate with a newspaper article or with a book or a movie or a song, you know, and say, that movie is now not allowed. That book we take off the book shelves as long, page 48 is it. That's not allowed per the Constitution, but they do it all the time. You know, they just do it and completely ignoring what is written in this thing. And the funny thing is that all that censorship now comes from the left.
Yes, it does.
You know, it's totally unbelievable. When you think, like, you remember Hitler, right? He shut off all media, and there was only one radio station. And that is what you get then. You know, so, but now you work on it, that it's similar. But your whole life was like to warn for the Nazis. And, you know, like, and now you turn into one. And that's the thing. And I think a lot of people, they think they know it all. They know it better. They know better what is good for you, what is bad for you. And that's mostly the woke left is now turned into this. We know everything better. And everybody else who has not our opinion is a Nazi. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's something that bothers me a lot is when people sit there and say, like, Trump is Hitler, or because you disagree with me, you're a Nazi. And it's like, no, you know, those are two very different things. You just like the spread list. Like you brought up the knife stabbing. We just had that here with the two young guys, you know, the black guy and the white guy at the track meeting, where the black guy stabbed the white guy, killed him, stabbed him in the heart with a knife. And now, of course, the left is saying, oh, well, he was bullied. He wasn't. There's footage. More and more stuff comes out all the time. He wasn't. He stabbed the kid. He was pushed once. He stabbed him in the chest and killed him. He got 35 years for murder. And now, of course, the left, especially that show, The View, is now trying to, oh, no, he was set up. Oh, no, there was no black people on the jury. Oh, no, he killed somebody. You know, it's like, it doesn't matter if he was pushed. But yet you got, you know, they have to side with the bad guys. Yes. And it kills me.
No, that's exactly. And the absurd thing is that most of this kind of more like kind of woke people, they never were in dangerous situations themselves. They never were in a war, in a fight, whatever, like, and they have no experience with it. So now, and that's the problem, you know, that they cannot even, because they don't watch it, they don't want to watch videos where you see things like this, like a guy gets stabbed. And then they're getting all like railed up that people who really have more experience, also law enforcement, police, and so on, with this kind of behavior, that they accuse them of crimes, right? That they turn the table and say, oh, that police officer, total police violence, he should be fired. And then, because they were never in the stressful situations, like what to do if you have a guy in front of you with a knife, what you have, you know, like all this stuff where that police officers now going through it every day, everywhere. And, you know, that's exactly how you meant it. I mean, I feel like they lost the connection to reality in being pampered. You know, they were always in the middle class. Parents had a house, 2 cars, they go to university, they have an office job. So for them, everything looks maybe perfect.
Right.
You know?
Which my sign fell. It's, well, with Citizen Vigilante, I find it interesting that there seems to be not just like 1 or 2 sides, there's a few sides. So I've seen like videos of people reviewing the movie as a movie, like just as it's a vigilante film. I've seen other people review the movie because it's your movie. So of course they have to bring your name up and all that type of stuff. Then I've seen other people look at it more as a political thing. So they'll bring up you know, like illegal immigrants, or they'll bring up, you know, gun stats, and they'll bring up all that. One thing that I did find interesting is because you have, and I've talked to you about, you know, Armie Hammer, is I am a fan of his. I think that he was kind of done dirty, you know. Yeah, sure, he made some mistakes, but it was 3 women. No, I think it was 1 woman and 2 guys, because I watched so many of them. It is the woman was bringing up his text messages and brought up the one where it says like, I want to eat you like a cannibal.
Yes.
And she goes, this is from a woman. No, it doesn't mean that he wants to eat her like a cannibal, like eat her skin. It means he wants to eat her pussy. That's what he's saying. He's just saying it in that way. So he's not saying, I want to cook you and eat your arm, you know, like Dahmer or something. It's that it's a sexual thing. He's just saying it that way. And I'm like, oh, I never thought, I didn't even think about that. And this comes from a woman. So it's like it's interesting that this film has brought up so many different, avenues that you can look at it. But yet, some people just can't get past, oh, this is the guy who did Alone in the Dark and House of the Dead. Okay, that was years ago. And some of us like those movies. So it's like, he's done other movies too. And it's like, I don't think that they understand that you've done films that do have a message. And I pulled out a couple of them from my collection, like, Assault on Wall Street is a message film.
By the way, this film was normally rated, even if the guy also goes after bankers and so on. He's doing basically a similar thing as Armie Hammer in Citizen Vigilante. Had no rating problems, whatever. But I think here in this film, Assault on Wall Street, he has stronger reasons to do it because his wife dies based on the financial collapse. So, but similar kind of motivation behind it, you correct injustice. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of the newer ones that I got from you, and I watched it, I think, on our last video. So, Stoic this is really good. Yeah. One room, improvising, but it's serious. This is not a video game movie. Then you have, which I think is probably your most serious, Attack on, Dafar, which is very good. Yes. And you show the violence for a reason. It isn't just, to show violence. It's for a purpose. You also then have something that happens a lot in America, which are school shootings. All these movies are taken very seriously. And you're not goofing around. And then the last one is, because you brought up, Hitler and Nazis, is Auschwitz.
Yeah. It's funny that I did Auschwitz, but now I'm a right-wing Nazi. So, it's completely absurd. And interesting is in Heart of America, Elizabeth Moss had her first real bigger part as an actress. And in Stoic, Sam Levinson, the Euphoria creator, in his only acting job in his life, after this turned into the footsteps of his father, Barry Levinson. But I think he was excellent in Stoic as an actor, so intense together with Edward Furlong. And of course, behind you is Rampage and Postal. I see it in the shelves, what is perfect.
I put those up because I was going to say, have you ever thought of doing crossover movies? And I was thinking if you had a Postal Rampage of the two guys meeting up, because I don't think you've ever done like a crossover movie. I think that would be very interesting.
Yeah, I know. Williamson and Postal, dude. And Citizen Vigilante, this three combo.
There, you have him. Yeah, you got the two guys from these two, and then all of a sudden, Citizen Vigilante shows up. So
it will be better as Supergirl, that's for sure. So
is that getting awful reviews? God, that's gonna bomb.
Look, I mean, I could told them that a year ago when they did the movie. I think in a way, this Vigilante shows also that the people are tired with this kind of streaming crap, to be honest, right? So what you get from Hollywood now is more money, more stars, whatever, more comic book films. And then you get from the streamers this kind of guilty pleasures, but they are kind of empty shells. You watch it and you say, yeah, good, whatever, and it's a good show, but there's nothing else to it. And the movies of the 80s, 90s, like whatever, The Shining, Clockwork Orange, Taxi Driver, this kind of movies, you always got something else. You know, you got the entertaining factor, but you also got provoked. You had to start thinking about stuff. You had a reflection of reality and society, you know, and I feel that's really gone.
Yeah.
You know, also like because of all this diversity writers and woke people at the studios, they're also trying to, for example, when I came with Citizen Vigilante, when I had the movie and wanted to sell it, it was like everybody, oh, we cannot show that. And it was half because of Armie Hammer. I asked also, I had all these talks with various like kind of majors and streamers and said, look, why was Armie Hammer canceled? And then most of them had no clue. You know, but they said like, no, but he's canceled. We cannot do it. We cannot, whatever, right? And I said, yeah, but with this kind of bullshit, nothing will ever change.
Right.
You know, but if you don't even know why somebody was canceled, but you think, oh, we cannot touch him, he's canceled. They actually passed on the movie more about because of Armie Hammer and not because of the content. I barely had the discussion about the content with them. It was directly over when they saw Armie Hammer. And I said, look, guys, this guy was 35. He betrayed his wife. He had kinky sex with a few girls. Then it came the Instagram war of everybody against everybody. He got a divorce. Everybody hated him. Then they started accusing him of stuff, but nobody sued him. No state attorney sued him. So, and that means he can never work again, even if he, by the way, would be the best James Bond actor they could find right now. So, you know, like all this stuff, it's like, okay, it's over. That's like no backbone and total pussies.
Oh, you know? Absolutely. Because this is, I've been a fan of his since Social Network. I had no idea who he was. I thought that he was actually twins. You know, and then it was like, oh, no, that's one actor. He's playing two different roles. And I've been a fan of him since. You got, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who cheats on a Kennedy with his maid and then has a love child from it. But yet he didn't get canceled. Everybody still likes Arnold. But yet, you know, Armie Hammer does. This is a guy who I think could even play Batman. And it's you know, and it's just amazing. And then, of course, there's all this stuff about him selling timeshares. I don't know if any of that is true. I mean, you know, it's just like, you know, and I think it's great that you brought him back. As I've said over the years, that it's just like, I think this guy got a bad rap, and it is mostly from the left. I mean, I'm not a James Gunn fan, but the guy got canceled for a text that he did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
but James Gunn is not canceled. He's the boss of Warner, and so he makes 10-20 million bucks a year. So, and makes $200 million movies. I think all this cancellation is total bullshit. If you don't do a crime, you shouldn't get canceled. So, you know, if people don't like how you are, whatever, then you know, too bad for you. But that's not a reason to cancel a talent. And I would not work with a rapist, right? Or somebody who did a real violent crime or something. Because I need also good atmosphere on set, and I couldn't do it. But with Armie, I felt like he's a great guy. He was on set super easygoing. He was super nice to the crew, no attitude, nothing. And he's very he learns his lines. He knows everything. He identifies with a role. And I would do any movie with him right away. So, and he deserves it to come back and to make some money again. You know, it's people think he's rich because if the Hammer family was rich, but they basically lost all the money. So it's not really that he's swimming in money or something. So, and I feel if we don't break this kind of walls, and in a way now Citizen Vigilante is doing this because it shows that the audience gives a shit. But I mean, otherwise, not like hundreds of millions of people would Twitter about it, send like links around and show stuff. And I mean, look on Apple or Amazon, we are in the top 5 now, top 5 or 6 on Apple and Amazon. And besides us are only movies that cost hundreds of millions of dollars, and they spend 100 million in advertising, you know, and we spent maybe 50,000 in advertising and went completely viral. So, and that shows that the audience is ready for something else, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you had pointed out with that poster with the bullet on it, you also have people doing fan posters and things that, you know, also helps with, you know, promoting the movie. And
Yeah.
it doesn't, I don't think if, when somebody talks about your movies, I don't think that you would have repeat actors in your films if people reacted the way that they did to a lot of these things. You know, when you see worst director ever, you know,
Yeah.
and it's stuff like, really, is it really? And it's like this guy right here, how many, you know, how many Saw movies has he been in? But yet he's, you know, Okotis, you know, he's been in a few of your movies now. He seems to be a, you know, a regular.
Yeah, I used them also in First Shift 2. We're just finishing First Shift 2 and 3 right now during the talking here. So, and Paramount Plus watched already First Shift 2. They waiting for First Shift 3. I hope I can close a deal quick, and so that they can basically release it, you know. So great movies. I think even better is the first part, and they should immediately make a TV series out of this, you know. So happy shooting more of it. I love First Shift, and the work was
good.
And Kristen Renton. It's just a great atmosphere, and yeah, and Kostas Mandalore is just great. A great guy, a great actor, you know, and he's present, he's there, and he played and run this mafia guy who hires migrants to do drug dealing, and here he plays the Interpol agent, and in First Shift 2 he plays a bank robber who takes hostages with his gang. So I'm like Michael Paré, Clint Howard, Dominic Purcell, so many people I did various movies with over time. And when I call them up, they say, okay, oh, I'm in. No matter what I shoot, they want to be in it. And of course, I hope with Ami, I can have a long-lasting relationship. And I hope even if he gets turned into a big star again, that he still would make another movie with me, you know. So, yeah, you know, so I think that's the way it is. But I'm very happy because it is hard today to do independent movies, very hard. And, you know, and when you did a movie like Run, what you watched, what I know is a great movie. And it didn't get the attention. It didn't get the clicks, the people, you know. I mean, if people listen to us now, just watch it. It's, I think, still on Showtime, still on Paramount Plus, on Apple Prime, you know, on Amazon Prime. So that was a great movie, and but it didn't get the support of the industry. But it also didn't get turned this kind of it didn't turn viral. What it, you know, it was not so spectacular as Citizen Vigilante, of course. But it's also, I think, a great drama where you see this kind of microcosmos of 8, 9 different characters in the same day on an Italian island where the migrant boat's coming in. So that subject matter was not leaving me alone. But, you know, and I think Citizen Vigilante is kind of the final statement for me in regards of we should change a little here. We cannot continue the way we continued with the immigration.
Yeah, and with Run is before I even watched the film, I saw video, like cell phone footage of illegal immigrants coming over. They'd be on the boat and the boat would come right up and they would all hop out and scatter. And so it's what you were showing is real. It does happen all the time.
Yeah.
But it's always the poor people, these poor people the laws are never looked at. It's you know, Trump won the presidency, you know, like him or hate him, he won on these policies of, like, you know, getting rid of the illegals and cracking down on crime and all that type of stuff. And 60% of America had no problem with that. But yet, if, you know, you mentioned this earlier, if you have a trans person and they're being interviewed and they're like, well, who do you like better, America or Iran? And they're like, oh, Iran. And they're there with the pink hair and the piercings and all that. And the reporter goes, you know, you'd be thrown off a building. You know that you would be murdered. And they'd be like, what? No, I wouldn't. And it's like, these people don't understand these things. They don't get it. And even if it's simply from the traditional Death Wish movies or whatever, where the guy's wife and kid are murdered, and then he goes out for revenge, up to somebody, you know, trying to cut somebody's head off in, like, Belfast. These are real issues, big and small.
Yes.
You need movies like this.
Yeah, and you also, even Once Upon a Time in the West,
great movie,
was also a vigilante movie. He had to, the brother was hanged by Henry Fonda, and he tried to save him, and he collapsed, and then he felt guilty for the death of his brother, right? So, and then he kills everybody till the very end. He kills Henry Fonda. So, you know, and it's also kind of a vigilante movie. The Wild Bunch was a vigilante movie. So, and as I said, it's like there's, if people say you need to ban a movie like this, then they have no clue from film history. They just didn't watch enough movies, or they watched only like love movies like Pretty Woman or whatever. And, you know, and it needs to get corrected. But I have to eat now. I'm hungry. I have a few more podcasts today to go. But I'm very thankful that you watched it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, recommended, and I put in there is a link where you can order in the US a pre-order for Blu-rays and DVDs with my commentary, with extras and so on. It's in the chat. Maybe you can put that under the video also later. It's Yippee-ki-yay Mother Video. There is he will bring also a box from First Shift 2 and 3, like 1, 2, 3, like a box, First Shift box, and he has Run 2 as a DVD.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can
great.
This, you know, and yeah, thanks so much. And when all this is over, we can do our normal podcast again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, please go eat. You know, don't starve yourself. And yeah, I'll get those links and stuff up there. So thanks for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it. And, you know, I'll talk to you soon. So
absolutely. Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks. See you later. Hey, everybody. So I cut the video a little short. Actually, Uwe has pre-orders for this movie, you know, for Citizen Vigilante, ready to go. And so I want to show you that. But before we get to everything with the pre-order, because I am definitely ordering this, I do want to show a couple other things here. So this is, like I'd shown this earlier, this is the poster. So, you know, please check it out. I love this poster. I think it's a good looking poster. It's very simple. It tells a lot. We got some pictures here. You know, here's like Army Hammer. This is a good shot of, you know, the gun right at the camera or going right past the camera. This is another good one. I'd like where Uwe has a good sense of where to place the camera. You know, it's either like the gun looking straight into the camera or like the foot coming down like onto the camera. This is another shot that I like. This is nice that the, you know, the foreground's a little, you know, is a little blurry while we have, you know, the, you know, it's right sharp and focus right here. I really like this shot. This is a behind the scenes. that I think is pretty cool. And and he had brought up also, we talked about First Shift. So this is the poster for First Shift. Go check this out. I enjoyed it. I was really hoping, my fingers were crossed that we were going to get a 2 and 3. He has brought up the TV show, which he's hoping to get done too. I really enjoyed First Shift. It definitely ends with a sequel in mind. And so I'm glad that he's able to do 2 and 3 back to back. This is also one of his newest ones. This is a documentary, Bandidos. And I don't know how easy this one is to find. I haven't seen it. I don't really know if it's even available in America yet, but it is a documentary about a motorcycle gang. And so that one I'm very curious about because it sounds like it could be like Germany's version of the Hells Angels. And I actually, when I was a kid, I used to know some of the Hells Angels. My mom was dating one of them. So why don't we also, while we're here, let's take a look at the trailer for this. And so let me see here. I'm going to take a look here. See, so let's share screen. Remove this first. Okay. All right, so this is the trailer for the movie. Okay.
The truth is this. You are all being used.
The vigilante citizen is delivering a brand of justice that some believe the authorities have failed to provide, targeting both criminals and those in power accused of allowing crime to flourish unchecked.
There's been a lot said about me, so I thought you should hear directly from me.
I think this looks really good.
To help you take that control.
I like the colors that are in this.
The state, court, police. See, you think that they've failed you, but they haven't. No, they only exist to control you. Do you want justice?
Yes.
Let's get some fresh blood. You walk down the street and you get stabbed or robbed.
He's a real hero.
We need more guys like this.
What does your country do? Nothing.
Our current system is failing to protect our citizens.
He's like the real deal.
He's playing with us.
What if everything they ever taught you was utter nonsense? We can change history.
Sean's back.
Okay, so that's the trailer. I think I like that trailer. Hopefully that entices you to go rent the movie or purchase the movie. I just letting YouTube know that a lot of the photos that I'm using, any clips or trailers were sent to me by Uwe Boll's people. So these were given to me where I could use them. I have their permission to use these. So hopefully there will be no copyright issues. I can also show you let's just do a clip, because this is, and then I'll show you what the pre-order is. Here we go.
if everything they ever taught you was utter nonsense?
What if that's what Nietzsche meant when he said it's cold and lonely at the top of the mountain of wisdom?
A place free from imposed morals or false religions or politics.
A place free from man-made tools of oppression, only meant to control you.
Look, if you want the cold, hard truth, I'll give it to you. We can change history. The state, the court, police. See, you think that they've failed you, but they haven't, because they were never meant to give you justice. No, they only exist to control you. See, but I'm here to help you take that control back.
So there's a clip from the film. I think Armie Hammer does a good job in this, and you know, if you enjoy movies that are, you know, like, you know, the classic well-known vigilante movies, you know, stuff like you know, God, I would probably say, you know, Ms. 45 is a good one. You know, if you like revenge movies, if you know, you also have The Exterminator, which I brought up. That is one of my all-time favorites. And then, you know, of course, you have what I consider to be, you know, one of the, you know, one of the best ones too would be Vigilante. You know, I think that we should, you know, also get, you know, like Death Wish 2 in there. But all of these, if you enjoy, you know, these vigilante films, you know, please support. And now this is, so here's the pre-order. And let's take a look at it here. So Yippee-ki-yay Mother Video. And this is a new poster. I like this poster. I like the pipe there with the blood on it. I think that looks good. So this is a Citizen Vigilante pre-order. It's got one review, 5 stars. So it's $38.99. In stock are 130. I believe they're Blu-rays that are available. And it's saying, well, here, okay, wait. So in stock, 130 available. Okay, product details. As with our Pune releases, the first 250 copies will be special editions. Okay. The first 250 are limited and autographed by Dr. Boll himself. Will also include 4 lobby cards, a custom trading card, and a hand-numbered slip cover. I'm definitely buying this. Each film has multiple behind-the-scenes features and commentary by Uwe Boll. Shipping begins in August of 2026. And it says here, there's a little asterisk, all pre-orders are charged upon checkout and are non-refundable. Pre-orders must be ordered individually due to shipping times. Our discs are pressed and region-free. Region-free, that's a very good thing. Please note that the first 250 are out of stock. Customer review, this is that it is from a verified customer. So reviews are only accepted from verified customers who have signed in and purchased the products. This ensures that each review is based on a genuine customer experience. All reviews are checked before publication to prevent spam. So this is Carol M. This is from France, 5 stars. This is from, yesterday. So, and it says Citizen Vigilante instantly became my favorite movie of all time. All citizens of Europe should retake control of their continent and their destiny. Europe and the West must awake from the woke and immigrant nightmare. This movie should have won the Palme d'Or the Palme, I know how to say this, the Palme d'Or in Cannes. Instead, it's been forbidden in Germany and soon in other European countries, surely, since censorship has replaced democracy and is dubbed racist by the weak minds. Lefties were Lefties were sipping your tears with the utmost delight. Huge thanks to Boll. And this person is not wrong. Everything that they said here was, even with me mangling it, is 100% correct. So so if I put this into my bag, let's see. I got one in the bag. Okay, so 38. There is sales tax of $234, so it's a total of $41.33. This is a good deal for what he's offering. This is a good deal. So next are delivery options, payment, and then order confirmation. Keep me up to date. Email address. So I'm going to order this now. I want this now because some of his stuff it's hard to get it. Like First Shift, I don't think is available as a physical copy here in the States. And of course, Bandidos, I don't even know really how to watch. And then Run, I don't think is available either. And I would purchase that one. So, if you want to support, and this is technically independent film. So if you want to support, Uwe Boll and, future filmmaking by him, check this out. At least, go watch it on Prime. I didn't even know that you could bootleg this. I had no idea because it's brand new. I did rent it. I wouldn't have bootlegged it anyways, but I think it's definitely worth watching. I did want to watch it that second time, and I guess I just didn't watch it soon enough. I think that he was correct that it was 24 hours, but I didn't watch it soon enough. And so it was saying, nope, you got to buy it again. But if I could get this, this copy, then I would prefer that than just renting it. But yeah, so I appreciate it, everybody. Thank you so much. And this was a short one with Uwe, and but he's got a lot of videos and interviews and stuff to do. So hopefully I can have him back on the show so we could do a longer video and talk a little bit more, because we do like talking politics and movies. So all right, thanks everybody. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next video. Okay, bye.